guess what? I'm not letting nobody sell you drugs without me saying that. I'm not going to do it.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm sitting. With a style that they might just record. The only thing equal is the curse for the wicked and the righteous reward. Now on my prayers and it's so be a rebel. Take the world by word of mouth. UPK, we the rebels that you heard about. Yeah, and it ain't gonna stop till 100 virgins in the house. And I'm handing verdicts out. Yeah, Frank, you ain't heard a clout. Without a shadow of a doubt, these devils hitting licks off us. Fuck the bank, I'm about to storm the pocket ticket office. Can't sweet talk us, cannot stop us. And plus I know the feds watch us. Telling people that they church full of witch doctors. Put us in prison, they stockpile us. Meanwhile, UPK turn on their ass, call it tough love. Look out for niggas just club and wouldn't touch a white bitch. What O'Shea's black gloves, father figure. Look, man, first time I met manager in your high, man, hit 3807. Rep without a call. My little daughter with me. Open the door, he was dropping the truth for me and all that. Rep he without said, yeah, man, you know, you do your time, we taking them out and training the hand-to-hand. I for this truth, cause for a long time was a rep without a call.
And you cannot move us. We're already dead. We're already beaten down. We've been beaten down for 400.
Man, shit, nigga. They took their head off, nigga. I read where Eve did to Adam. I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson. I can't let no hoe lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing. I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. And suckle up and stay alert. Another cop just stressed the nigga. He ain't even bless the nigga. Rappers claim they spin, now I ain't listening. Is in fact the summer. this gonna be historical. Thought they make it plain. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cow leader? When he said something, I ain't hear him. This shit like it ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up their fight first. I turn a bad situation to a game change. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Bring shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never fight the head and the feet to do a never get that hand back. Bitch about 10%. Now my dad ain't for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter. God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow side. Yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville. You feel your boy. Still up on my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost. They gon' start to call it L. Right, fuck his gang. How about his hell?
Mute over here. Kumar Kaya, are you there? Trooper?
Oh, Wakanda, sir.
All right, just making sure. Let me see what's going on with this setup, though. Yeah, it's got me over there in the corner. All right, we good to go. All right, just making sure. All right, anyways, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar, Alathah Hashem, Yahweh Shah to the sisters. Oh, Yahweh Shamar, Alathan, which is plural. Hashem Yahweh Shah to the sisters is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Spilly, that's what it stands for. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, back in 1969. Under commanding General Yohana and Priest and Officer Kazak Tamar, ISUPK Jacksonville, Florida, inside 103rd Library. If you would like to drop by, if you're in the city of Jacksonville, come on by. What we do every Monday night, scripture breakdown, breaking down the Bible. I call it Make the Bible Make Sense. Tonight, I called it Make America Make Sense, because America don't make no sense right now. It's out of control. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody is afraid, scared. You got the ICE thing. You know they're going to run down on niggas' necks. You got the whole supposed to be a race war coming, I think. I think we running out of food. We ain't got no water. People ain't got no nothing. Men ain't got no families. Women ain't got man. Life is a mess unless you understand that all this has to happen and prophesied out thousands of years where the destruction of this nation would come for the liberation of the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, who are God's chosen people. This stuff gotta happen. If we go into it like, you know what I'm saying, I'm sure you heard it a million times, where it's gonna be a falling away first. It's gonna be, nation rising up against nation. It's gonna be famines. It's gonna be plagues. Coronavirus started it. They thought that was the end. They thought that was the end. That was the beginning of the fall of this nation. And then they elected the president that y'all got in now to help usher in all the chaos that's needed. And the only way this thing happens and stops, and the only way Black people will be saved, is through divine intervention. If you think you're going to pick up a gun and go and shoot at white people, then tell me where you're going to buy the bullets from. If you're going to go to war with America, tell me what nigga you know how to make toilet paper. That is not the way to your salvation. The way to your salvation is the law, statutes, and commandments given to us by our Creator, who said, if thy ways please the Lord, he will make your enemies to be at peace with you. He also said, if you obey me, I will make your enemies your footstool. These are all things that's in the Bible. So now we got to look at it like, do you really believe in the Bible or not? I mean, you could take things into your own hands and see how well you do. Israel has done that in the past. What they have done is, came up with their own ways of trying to invent and recreate and do things to help themselves, when the reality is the only way you're going to ever be successful is if the Lord is on your side. If the Most High ain't with you, it don't matter how strong you is, how fast you is. Got to remember, you the strongest, fastest, smartest nation on the planet, and you on the bottom. How do you got somebody as dumb as Donald Trump ruling over you? What is going on? It's not because you ain't smart. It ain't because you can't fight. It ain't because you can't shoot. It ain't none of that. It's because of your disobedience to your God. And the only way to get this devil's knee off your neck, literally, is for you to serve that God so that he can make your enemies your footstool. Like I said, so now, absolutely, sis. Unf-wittable Israelite. Invincible. That's correct. I just played that. No, let me see if I can get the end of that real quick. Oh, no, that was the other one. We'll get it at the end. Anyways, you got any questions? We do take questions. Whatever you want to ask about the Bible. I don't know what E=mc² is. You are in the wrong place. It's not my job to teach you anything except for the duty that I owe the Lord to give you what I've been given. And that's the truth and the knowledge about this Bible. So let's start at Hebrews chapter 5. I don't know what happened to Kamal. All the other was, y'all make sure y'all come up. Elder Charles, man, who is Elder Charles? Elder Charles been coming to class and in the audience for like years. I got a feeling there's somebody in the school. I don't know. Elder Charles, if you're not in the school, you should be in the school by now. You come to class every week. You in the general's classes. Who the hell is Elder Charles? Somebody tell me who Elder Charles is. Because Elder Charles be in General Mahaiman's classes. Elder Charles be everywhere. Please tell me if that's an officer that got an alias, or what they call it, a burner. They got a name for it on Bigo. But anyways, if you on the YouTube, go ahead and put it in the chat on YouTube. You got any questions? I think all the questions on Bigo are already answered. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12 real quick. Let's start there. Hebrews 5 and 12. Damn, Elder Charles. It's so crazy because I knew an Elder Charles from the church. That's why it's so funny to me. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12, this is what it says. It says, for the time when you ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. So now, what this is saying, this is the book of Hebrews. This is written to those who knew they were Hebrews during the time of Paul. Some people say it was Paul. Some people say it was a student of Paul that wrote it. But it's going to a particular people that know the law, that know the prophets, that know what was going on ahead of time. This scripture right here is saying that there's going to come a time where you ought to be teachers. We should be teaching our wives. We should be teaching our children. We should be teaching other brothers how to serve God. Now, here's the problem. The time where you ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again. And the reason we got need that one teach us again, because everything you tried to learn about God, you've been lied to. I mean, you went to the church, they lied to you. You said, oh man, this ain't the way. Let me throw this Bible away and grab this Quran. They lied to you again. Then you said, oh, I'm an atheist, ain't no God. That was a lie. Then you said this, I'm gonna hold on to these what they call these crystals. I'm gonna get my energy from the sun or whatever. That was a lie. That shit ain't none of that worked. Nothing you've tried worked. And the thing is, you've been sitting here with this Bible. It's on people's coffee table. It's on their dashboard. It's in the hotel room where you slept with that slut while her husband was at work. It's everywhere. The Bible is everywhere. And there are very, very few people that read it, and even less people that live by it. That's the thing, right? A lot of people read the Bible. Oh, that's a good story. You want to talk about Job. You want to talk about Jesus. You want to talk about all these people. But when it comes time to do what it actually says in the Bible, who's doing it? Who do you know that's doing it? If you go and look in this Bible and find something, and then you see that somebody who's holding it, claim to be teaching it, and then they won't deal with it properly, when they could break it down and sound good. I done met some of the best, most eloquent dudes. They charismatic. They got church full of people. And then you say, who's doing this? And they not doing it. Right now, it's not time for people to be giving smooth words. People need answers. People need solutions to problems. Who is going to get this dope out the ghetto? Who is going to stop these YNs from killing each other? Who going to do it? Y'all going to sit back and watch and hold the Bible in your hand and preach a good sermon when the only thing you're really looking for is money. I might go into that because I've been on, I don't know, for y'all who not on the Bigo Live app, I've been going into this whole thing about these pastors. And it started at Jeremiah 23. Kamar Kaya, can you read that for me?
Go, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Jeremiah chapter 23. Let's go there. If you got a Bible, get the damn Bible. Don't just sit here like, no, I ain't here to preach no sermons. Ask me a question out the Bible. Oh, yeah, by the way, you got a question, right?
Go, sir.
All right, let's get the question first, and then we'll go back. Like I said, if y'all got any questions, put them in the chat.
All right, let me go. So
got quite a few people in here on the YouTube side. Not no hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people like some classes, but I ain't that famous. I'm just a servant. Go ahead. What's the question?
So in the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 18, it say, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. Now my question is, what does that mean?
This is 22 and what?
22 and 18.
Okay. What's your question?
So my question is, did that literally mean like every single nation, every single nation that came from Abraham when they talk about being blessed?
I think that's a good question. Now you're starting to break up. Every single nation that what?
Salaki, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Was that every single nation that what?
Every single nation that is it saying every single nation that came from Abraham was going to be blessed, or is to be blessed? Every single nation.
Does it say every nation from Abraham?
Wait.
That ain't what it say.
Wait, let me see on tweet. Oh yeah, Salaki.
Don't say every single nation from Abraham. Hey, so do this. Let's go to verse 16. What you want to do? Matter of fact, go to verse 15. It say all nations on the earth. It don't say all nations that come from Abraham, right? Let me turn you up.
Yeah, Con say all nations are there.
You there?
Hold on.
Say something. Tell me where we reading from, and then I'll let you know.
Salakia said, can you hear me clear?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Tell me where we reading from, and then I'll let you know if you good.
Salakia said, go to Genesis 22 and start at 15, right?
Yeah, you breaking up a little bit. I'm gonna read it. If you can, you hear me clear?
Con, I can hear you, sir.
All right, go ahead and start reading. We'll try it that way. Genesis 22 and 15. The question the brother is asking is when it says, through thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed, right? That's what he wants to know. Is it talking about only the nations that come from Abraham, or is it talking about all nations the way it says? That's the question. So let's go into it.
All right, Con. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 15. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time and said, by myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing and hast not with
It might not work, bro. You breaking up. Let me just go ahead and read it, right?
God.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's a lot of times it be this library Wi-Fi. It could be. I'm not sure, but as long as you can hear me, I'll go ahead and read it for now. All right. And it's called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time and said, by myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son. So this is talking about Abraham. This is right after he took Isaac, not Ishmael, Isaac up and was about to sacrifice him for the Lord assured him that there was no need to do that, right? So now the Most High is saying, even though you get it, you understand, like in the scriptures in the New Testament, it says that Abraham knew that the same way he received Isaac, you know what I'm saying? That Isaac, he could receive Isaac again or receive another Isaac, right? So he wasn't concerned with that. He was concerned about being obedient to the Most High. And the Most High said to him, since that's what you've done, you know what I'm saying? Now, this thing right here, now that I know you got loyalty with me, right? Okay. And then Salakia, he said, by myself I have sworn, for because thou hast done this thing and has not withheld thy son, thy only son, that blessing I will bless thee. So he's not only going to bless Abraham, and in multiplying, I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven. So this is saying that you're going to have a big, huge family, which is one of the main things that people used to concern themselves with. It was a blessing from God to have a lot of kids, a lot of wives, a lot of animals, a lot of land. That's what we called inheritance in the Bible. It wasn't now where you want money, you got all this money and no woman to share it with. Come on, these brothers got all this money and they can't find love to save their life. They got all the hoes. They got all the hoes, and these hoes hold no value at all. Can't find a good woman to save their life. Just sitting on bread. Women got all the money. Right? This is the American way. This is what we talk. godliness. Gain is godliness. Buy you something that will temporarily hold you over, but the whole bottom line is somebody to share your life with. Now, I ain't just talking about a husband or a wife. I'm talking about kids, grandbabies, great grandbabies, etc., right? Now, land, inheritance, things you could pass on, legacy, etc. They don't really teach us about that. They teach us, oh shit, you got a Birkin bag, you got a nice watch, you got a nice car, you got a nice house, you got a nice, all that will pass away. Only thing you have is memories, and you are a memory. So if you did a bunch of bull in your life, then people will remember you for that. If you've done a bunch of great things in your life, people will remember. That's legacy. Now, as far as multiplying, it's saying that you will have this. You know, when we talk about the 12 tribes, these tribes, excuse me. When we talk about the 12 tribes, these tribes were men, right, that had enough children that they became tribes of people. And these 12 tribes had enough children that they became a whole nation of people. Well, this started from, I don't know, it's something in here. It's a lot. These come from one man. Now, that ain't even talking about Isaac. I mean, that ain't even talking about Abraham's other sons. They ain't even talking about Esau's other people. But all of these people came from Abraham. Ishmael, all of them. But that's not what it's talking about just. But the Lord said he was going to multiply him, and his seed was going to be as the stars of heaven. I mean, it's going to be so many people you can't even count, right? And as the saying, which is upon the seashore. So you can't, the same way you can't count the sand, that's how many of Abraham's children are going to be on the earth, or Abraham's seed is going to be on the earth. So now they got a habit of trying to tell people you ain't Abraham's seed when the Bible already prophesied that it'll be so many of them you can't even count them. Right? You with me, Kamar Kaya, trooper?
Con, sir. You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. And then and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. What that mean? Thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. That mean, trooper.
Salakia, meaning.
You there?
Salakia, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What does that mean? Thy seed shall possess the gates.
Salaki, what that mean? Like your seed, like your descendants, like they'll take over, like they'll take land, like possess land from your enemies, from other nations.
Seeds will possess or control. Remember, when we start talking about possessing a land or controlling a people or being in rulership, that's what it's talking about. Possessing the gates. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his food. He had Moabites and Edomites in chains. God. They had garrisons in their neighborhoods. You can't even go a certain way. You know how during COVID, I don't know if y'all noticed, during COVID, they had certain times of night, if you wasn't out for work, you had to have a little paper that say, hey, I work for essential, what they call it? What's it called? Essential something? Essential workers. I think that's what it was called. You had to be somewhere that was doing something where you could not stay in the house. Otherwise, you had to be in the house. Well, it's like that. Remember, they had the slave catchers that catch you running around at a certain night time they'll catch you and then you'll get locked up or put to death or took back to your slave master. You had sundown town where you can't go. Well, it's like that. You will control their gates when they going out and when they coming in. It will be decided by your seed. You understand, right?
Okay.
You with me, trooper? All right, verse 18. This is the one where you had it. In thy seed, all the nations of the earth be blessed, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. First of all, separate this sentence. Because thou hast obeyed my voice. Who is he talking to?
Salaki, you talking to Abraham, right?
That's the Most High speaking to Abraham. Because you did what I said do, which the Most High told him to take Isaac up and to offer him. But he didn't want him to offer him from the beginning. It was all a test, right? Same way in Matthew chapter 4, Christ is taken in the wilderness to be tempted by the devil, right? He takes him out there, and those things that he's offering him, he knew he would pass the test. Same way with Job. He knew he would pass the test. With Abraham, he took him from amongst his people, separated him. He already knew that Abraham was willing to do everything because he left his whole family wherever they was at to go start a new family, right? So the test with Isaac was just to see, all right, now I know for sure you on my side now. Now through you, I'm going to build up a nations. Now in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Now, I know why you asking this question, Kamar Kaya. The reason you're asking this question is because it's saying that all nations of the earth will be blessed, right?
Okay.
What do you know about all the nations of the earth? You know that all the nations of the earth are not righteous, right?
Right.
All right. So how can all the nations of the earth be blessed? By Abraham's seed. Let me tell you how. Some people on this earth should not be in positions of power and authority. Remember I was telling you about how dumb they are? How dumb the rulers you got right now. Jerriana brought this out on his thing. There were people that hate the Mexicans so much, right? Salaki. There are people hate the Mexicans so much that they voted for Donald Trump. And since then, they have come out and said they had generation upon generation of family businesses that they had. And because of the workers that they use being raided by ICE and being deported and not coming to work, they had to literally give up their family business that they inherited from their great-great-grand people. So meaning because of their hate for the Hispanic community, they shot themselves in the foot and voted for Trump and did that it harmed them. You ever, my boy Richard, he in the world, one of my best friends in the world, he used to always say this. When a woman mad, right, she not taking into accountability those things which are, what's the word? Practical. I'll use the word practical. She's basically responding out of her emotions. You ever see like when I know you ain't never seen this movie, Waiting to Exhale. You seen this movie before, Trooper? The movie older than you. Anyways, all right. On Waiting to Exhale, all right, the woman breaks up with her husband. He cheats on her. She go outside and then set his clothes on fire, right? Set his clothes on fire. She crying. She doing all this. Or you might see a woman flatten a man's tires. Or you might see people. You ever seen that show, Snapped? You ever saw that show before?
Nah, I ain't seen that one either.
All right, Snap. You go look at that on YouTube. It's about people who lose it. They can't control themselves. They out of control, right? Snap is a show that people watch where people kill people and all kind of stuff based on it. What I'm saying is there are a lot of people that do things based on their emotions. They don't do it based on it making no sense. They don't do it based on it helping them in no kind of way. They do things based on their emotions. Your oppressor hates you so much that he'll do something that will mess him up just so he can do something to you. You follow me?
Con, sir.
You follow
I
me?
know exactly what you mean.
This is why it takes strong men in the household, right? Somebody could do something to your woman and she'll be like, let's go kill them. Right now. You'll be like, nah, we gotta go to work. We gotta feed these kids. I heard Charleston White say something like that. These cats out here, willing to lose it all. They don't have nothing to live for. They don't have nobody at the house waiting on them. They don't have people that they take care of. You know what I'm saying? Who gonna miss them if they gone? What's up with them? Who gonna feed my kids if I ain't there? Who gonna take care of my wives? Who gonna take care of my parents if I ain't there? This is what grown men have to think about. Somebody that will actually miss them. They have responsibility. And being in a position of rulership is a responsibility. You understand, right? The moment you don't give a damn about the thing you taking care of, that thing dies because it can't live without you. Here you is not taking care of nothing. You could die today and nobody would miss you. The world would be a better place. There's people like that. And then there's people that do everything for everybody. You know what I'm saying? My mama's husband, pillar in the family. I don't know what the hell we would do without him. True, but the man took so much good care of me growing up that people started to say we look alike. And I was in their wedding. You hear what I'm telling you? Some people take care of people. Some people take care of people. If something happened to them, everybody gonna lose. All right, well, this is why this is. Give me Proverbs chapter 29 and 2. Let's try to read that, and this will kind of bring some clarity to you about what this is talking about. And in thy seed may all the nations of the earth be blessed. This is because who is in charge makes a big difference on how the world operates. Very important. Very important who's in charge. You can't take that lightly. So, sisters, if you're looking for a husband, the man that you pick to rule over you is very, very important. Very important. It can make you a better woman or it can destroy you totally. Brothers, if you're looking for men of renown, men of good reputation to follow and serve in the Most High, it's very important who you follow it. It's very important who you serve. So that's for brothers and sisters. Be very careful who you choose to lead you. That's in your family, as your husband, that's whoever's running the family business or whatever. That's in business. That's how you serve the Most High. That's very, very important. And what the Lord was doing was choosing for Abraham to rule the entire earth and his seed, because he would give them something that would make them better at doing it than anybody else on the planet. You with me, Trooper? No, I guess not. You with me, Trooper? Damn. This your question. Kamar Kaya. Let me see. I got you now. You there? Guess not. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, we're going to keep it rolling. Damn. Y'all bear with me. I'm answering his question, so I don't really want to go too far without it. Shalom, Trooper Amon Bayath, Pensacola, Florida. Yalad, Fred, Cocoa Beach, Tallahassee in here, Orlando in here, Tampa in here, Officer Yaquab, Officer Magazar, Shalom, y'all. Sister Ra'amah, Sister Bayana. Who the hell is Elder Charles? Who the hell is Elder Charles? All right, come on. Let me see. Let me see if I can bring you back up. Add you to the stage. Let me add the young man to the stage. Shalom. Y'all there?
Khan, sir.
Khan.
Come off the mute. Let me know I ain't talking to myself. All right, you can hear me. We got one person. Kamar Kaya, you can hear me?
Khan, sir, I can hear you.
Amon Bayath, if you don't come to Florida and see me, I'm going to get you fired. I'm going to get you fired so you can come home and do this work. I need you. Shalom, Clyde, checking in from Orlando. I think that's the brother that be at the Orlando classes on Saturday. Orlando got a class at the library downtown on Saturday. Y'all make sure y'all get that class. Officer Kanak be teaching a hell of a class every Saturday. A little different from the Sabbath service, right? It's an actual class that he teaches on the Sabbath. Very good class. I toured there myself a couple times. Y'all make sure. No, I'm serious. I'm gonna get you fired if you don't come home. What are you doing in Carolina? Every time I talk to you, you're somewhere else. I'm sick of this. y'all know Trooper of mine by y'all has been in this school for about probably 6-7 years, if not more. Know what I'm saying? That brother is a hardcore brother in this truth, but because of his slavery, he is always on the road. Always. All right. All right, Kamar Kaya, you got me? Proverbs 29:2. Let's get back to it. The brother's question is, what did the Lord mean when he told Abraham that through thy seed all nations would be blessed? I'm telling him it's really about leadership. Everything is about leadership. Women, sis, whoever you choose to be your leader, your husband, is very important. That's because your leadership will determine whether or not he makes you a better woman or whether or not you crash the hell out, lose everything. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, Elder Vibrant. Elder Vibrant's one of my favorite Christians on the app, y'all. Tuning in right now. Go ahead, Kamar. Let me show you how this works.
Salah,
you got
sir,
it?
You hear me? Hear me good?
I can hear you. Yep.
Khan. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Now, the reason we going through all type of hell is because we got somebody who ruling over us that can care nothing about us. They don't care, right? The Israelites are the people that come from the seed of Abraham are the most compassionate people, the smartest people, the strongest people, the wisest people on the planet. Shouldn't they be ruling? You with me? When the righteous are in authority. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Why? When the righteous are in authority, they know how to take care of stuff. If the righteous person, if a righteous man is giving a woman, with me, come on.
It's a lot, yeah. I don't know if it's me, but it had skipped a little bit while you was talking.
Come on. Don't tell me you ain't there. Yeah, I'm saying when she will destroy those kids. When a righteous woman is giving kids, she will build them, she will make them great. Same thing with a man. When a righteous man gets a woman, he will treat her properly in order to make that woman better. A wicked man will destroy it. A leader, these people at these churches, people go in and go serve God, end up serving these men who are wicked men, and it destroys their faith in God, et cetera, right? A real righteous man will build up a man and make him better and make his relationship with said God stronger, because he'll teach him how to serve him properly. See how these pastors is, these fake Israelite groups is. These leaders do not care about the people. They only care about themselves and what they can get out the deal. You following me, Kamar? No. Because this is the answer to your question.
So I follow.
All right. So when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. It is better for someone who's righteous to be in authority than somebody who's wicked. And even the people at the bottom do better. We got rules in our laws that tell you you can't do to us, to your servant, what your oppressor did to us. It's rules against it. How you treat your servant, your slave, is rules against them. We would never do if we was ruling buck breaking and feeding babies. That I don't know about the feeding babies to alligators. This might be might be kind of fun. I'm just joking. But all the stuff that they did to us was the wicked bear rule and the people mourning. The righteous seed of Abraham, the Lord knew he was going to give him his laws, statutes, and commandments. This was going to be a kind and caring and compassionate people. They was going to rule the earth, and the earth would be at harmony, which it will be once we're ruling. That's why we need a righteous judge. You with me?
Go with God, sir.
Hey, if you could, young man, Fred, can you give me Isaiah 9? Let's go to Isaiah 9 real quick.
Khan or Khan.
Hey, I don't think I said that. I don't think I said it might be fun to feed babies. I don't remember saying that, sis. Somebody say, did you really just say it'll be? I'm saying that they fed our babies to alligators, and we have laws against it. That's what I said. We got laws against it. We would never do them like they did us, was my point. You got it, Fred?
Salaki, sir. Did you want Isaiah 9 and 1?
Isaiah 9 and 16. Let me see. We might have to go up a little bit. Let me see. Hold on. Do I want one? Give me verse 14.
Khan or Khan. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 14. Therefore the Lord will cut off from Israel head and tail, branch and rust in one day.
So now this is talking about during the time where the Lord would deal with Israel according to their doings, right? And I don't know if y'all know this, but in the Bible, let's say it never talks about how the Egyptians felt about letting the Israelites go. It only talks about how Pharaoh felt. It didn't talk about how the Babylonians felt. It talks about how Nebuchadnezzar felt. It didn't talk. So when we talking about righteous leadership, right? That's what we're talking about. When he was raising up Abraham, he was raising him to rule over the entire earth. That's why he said, in thy seed, all the nations of the earth will be blessed. If they do what you say do, they'll be fine. Because you ain't going to kill them for nothing like your oppressor did us. You get the point, Kamar? So now here we go, Israel being judged. Israel's being judged. And it said, what verse did you just read up?
Verse 14, Adawan.
All right, verse 14, it says, therefore the Lord shall cut off from Israel the head and the tail, branch and rush in one day. Head and the tail signifies like the animal part, right? Right. Also the Salakia and the branch and the rush in one day. So this is like the tree, another tree example. Go ahead to verse 15.
Kana Wakan, verse 15. The ancient and honorable, he is the head. And the prophet that teaches lies, he is the tail.
What in the world does that mean? The ancient and honorable is supposed to be the head. That's who's supposed to be the head, right? The ancient and honorable, and the prophet that teaches lies, he shall be in the back. But right now it's the other way around. For Israel, you had prophets that taught lies, right? That were the heads of Israel. That was the problem. That was the problem. These prophets had set themselves up over the children of Israel. Try to get this right. Got a problem here. That might not work. Let's see. That might not work either. All right, that might work. Maybe not. Hold tight 1 second, Akim. Kill that noise. I want to make sure y'all with me. Y'all still with me?
Con, sir.
Not y'all. All right, cool. Hold on. It's gonna be sideways. My body. That might work for a while. Anyways, see what it look like over here. Verse 15, the ancient and honorable, he is the head, and the prophet that teaches lies, he is the tail, right? So it's talking about who's supposed to be in charge and who was with Paul. Here go where I wanted to get to, Kamar, which will help you understand what he meant. Go ahead and read verse 16, Fred.
Kana Wakan, verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed.
For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. What that mean, Kamar? What that mean? They that are led of them are destroyed.
Salakia, people who's under the the wrong kind of leadership. Yeah, they basically destroy a lot of people who don't when you don't have the right leaders. It's detrimental to the people or the right leadership.
They that are led by them, right, are destroyed. You following after somebody who is leading you to a situation. Shalom, Officer Nashad, Daytona Beach. That's what's going on. That's the problem. When you don't have righteous leadership, what do the people? You got to remember, everybody ain't shepherds. Some people are sheep. In other words, if they find somebody good to follow, they can follow them, and they can do what they need to do. But if they don't, let's say they got a bad example, like what kind of examples did you have in y'all neighborhoods? I guarantee you, if anybody had good examples growing up in their neighborhoods, 9 times out of 10 they are successful, especially if it was a man. If you had a father that was in your household, if you had a good mother that brought you up, like my mama ain't let me go out and do what everybody else was doing. Know what I'm saying? My pop, they ain't let me do that. They ain't let me do that. Those type of people, right? I remember one of my homeboys, he was talking to my auntie. He was like, yeah, my people spared the rod on me, man, and I ain't turned out right. He dead now. I remember him saying this to my auntie, and so it's crazy. He said that. That was what he said. My people spared the rod, and I ain't turned out right. What y'all think about that? That's bad leadership. What you have to do is instill. It's a scripture that says, train up a child in the way that he shall go, and he shall not depart from it. Now, if he do, that's just him doing it. He a bad seed. However, the things that you do and the things that the Lord knew he was going to give Abraham's seed was going to make them good rulers over everybody on the planet. That's why you got stuff like Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. Grab that for me, Kamar Kaya. Deuteronomy 7 and 6, Deuteronomy 28 and 1. All of these things. Without the law, without the rules that's put in place by the Most High, you were bad leaders. And that's what happened with us. The kings went off. You had like 3 or 4 generations, and then after that, they went and started doing whatever they wanted to do. Right? We're not following this cat. We're going to make our own nation. The whole 9.5 tribes split because they didn't want to follow the man that was that was David's great-grandson or whatever. They said, we're going to make our own nation. We're not following you. Then they went to war. Now, these people are supposed to be ruling over the earth, but they fighting each other. Don't that sound like your neighborhood right now? You can talk all that, we black kings and black queens and all this, but you can't even get along with each other. You with me? The leaders are the reason why you're in a position that you're in. The leaders cause them to err, and they that are led by them are destroyed. That's because when the righteous are in rulership, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So now when the children of Israel are, hold on one second, I'm getting some feedback. When the children of Israel are over the entire earth, and our King Yahweh Shai, that's what they call heaven. You know what I'm saying? When the 144,000 righteous men who follow our King Yahweh Shai ruling the earth, they call that heaven, Kamar Kaya. You know, even our servants would be in better positions than they are now. Now they're ill-equipped to lead the earth. Your oppressor is ill-equipped to lead the earth. That's why everything is going into haywire. These black leaders are ill-equipped to lead the Lord's people. That's why you have people that don't believe in it no more. I've just been asking Christians left and right, hey, why you don't go to church? Ain't you a Christian? Who your pastor? They don't believe in that no more because the leaders have caused them to err. You following me, Kamar?
Con, sir.
Before we get that Deuteronomy that I asked for, give me Jeremiah chapter 23. What you got to understand is the whole point of the thing is to find righteous leadership. That's why we will serve Christ, a righteous king who will not judge after his own, but after the judgment of God. You familiar with that scripture, or do we need to pull it? Anybody not familiar with it, just let me know. That's the point. A righteous king. That's when you hear the Christians quoting Isaiah 9, and the government shall be upon his head or his shoulders, right?
Go.
You got it? What you got?
The 23 and 1. You wanted that first? So like,
yeah, let's go ahead and get that. Let's get that.
Con. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy.
Woe be unto who? Woe be unto who?
The pastors.
Now, have you ever heard that term outside of the Christian church? Pastors. Anybody you ever heard call themselves that? I mean, of course, Pastor Troy. Something like that. But outside of the church, you never heard this. But this was written here for us so that we would understand who he's talking about. Woe be unto the pastors. Right? That keep going.
Con. That destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Lord.
Now this is important. The Lord holds people accountable who he puts in charge that squander away what they got. So if you remember all those things I was saying, I have you know that Christ is the head of every man. If Christ wouldn't have did what he was supposed to do, he wouldn't have been raised to that. And the man is the head of the woman. Men want to run things. Well, you will be held accountable for those things that you govern, right? It's like getting rank in the truth. It's like getting rank or in the army or something. Your squadron and you over it and you responsible for it. You the CEO of a company, the things that go wrong, it's on you, right? So if you are ruling the entire earth, everything that happens is on you. The reason why it's hard to understand that, and because of you, all nations on the earth shall be blessed, is because you don't understand that some nations need to be ruled. Some of these nations need to be ruled. They don't need to be ruling nothing. They should do what they told. Right here, he's telling even the leaders of the children of Israel that's supposed to be pastors. What is a pastor? Somebody who leads a flock. Leads a flock. So this speaking to the black leaders of today. This speaking of the priests of the old. This speaking to the Pharisees. All of the people that was put in charge of the Lord's people. The Lord said, "He see what you did. You have scattered my people. You ain't feed my people, and I'm going to visit upon you the evil of your doings." Meaning, what you did to the people that I put you in charge of, I'm going to do to you. Right? If you keep reading, he just talks about how he's going to bring out, he's going to gather the remnant of his flock out of the countries he's driven them. That's not necessarily the point. But the point I want you to see is that God is holding the leaders accountable. So if you are a leader in any, you ever being a good steward, you heard that term, being a good steward. If the Lord gives you $5 and you don't know what to do with it, why would he ever give you $1 million? You squandering small things. But somebody who is good in small things can lead great things. You understand, right?
Oh God.
And everything that you rule, you will be such a good ruler that it will be blessed. Even your enemies will be in a better position if you was in rulership because you are righteous and they are not. You follow me?
Oh God.
You think we the only ones gonna reap the benefits of being in rulership? No, the entire earth will. The animals will be happy when the white man is no longer in leadership. Maybe the damn dodo bird would have made it. Shalom for shy. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the killer whales would have made it. Everything they got locked up, all of the stuff that they got in specimens holding. I seen a dead butterfly one time. I put it on it where like this dead butterfly knows who the devil is. You hear me out? They can't wait for somebody else to be ruling. There are people on this earth that everything they're in charge of, everything that they rule, they destroy it. And there are people on this earth that if they do what thus saith the Lord, everything that they touch will turn to gold. Everything that they touch will be blessed. You with me out?
Come.
I'm gonna give you one other bad example. Let's go to Ezekiel 34 real quick. I'm using these examples because this talking about why we ain't in the position that we supposed to be in. But the original way we were supposed to be, I'll show you that afterwards. This is how it turned out. So I'm giving you the end of the story or the middle of the story before I give you the beginning. But you went to the beginning to where he made a promise to our father Abraham about what was going to happen. He was going to multiply his seed. He was going to bless his seed, and everybody on the planet would be blessed based on this people. I'll show you how that's done. Ezekiel chapter 34. Let's see. Verse 1. If you could. Hey, who is that? Who is that? That's Clyde. Clyde, you the brother that be in the class on Saturday? Clyde, you on mute.
So, like you.
Hey, shalom,
You
shalom, Lord Christ, what's going on? Hey, you. Yeah, Ezekiel 34, verse 1. You gonna read it for me?
Yes, sir. Okay, Ezekiel
Mosiah Christ out.
chapter 34, verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophecy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophecy and say unto them, thus prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds. Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flock?
That's what it's talking about right there. If you could stop right there for 1 second. Kamar, this is what it's about. People think that you being in charge means this is the same thing. It's like who, you know how they had that thing online, who should eat first, the kids or the husband, right? The kids, right. It's not their responsibility to think about anybody but themselves. That's why they don't get to eat first. They'll eat up all the food and the mama and the daddy won't get none. This is why the highest ranking men eat first. They supposed to make sure that everybody gets some. They'll just make no big, stupid, ridiculous plate and then eat good, and then the people starve. You understand what I'm saying, Kamal? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. It says, and he's saying the same thing in Jeremiah. He was saying, Ezekiel, he was saying in Jeremiah. He says, say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, unto the shepherds, which is the same thing as a pastor, right? Woe be unto the shepherds of Israel that feed theyself. Should not the shepherds feed the flock? Ain't it your job to take care of the flock? Why are you only concerned with yourself? Ain't it your job to take care of your family? Why are you selfish bastard? You think that having rule over somebody is about what you can do and not even understanding that everything that's up under the Lord bless you with dominion over. It is your job to protect. Even your slaves are. You think when in Genesis chapter 3 verse 16 where he says unto Eve, because you have done this, one of her punishments was that your desire shall be to your husband and he shall rule over you. It's not him ruling over you to destroy you. It's ruling over you to save your dumb ass. It's his to protect you. Now, if you were a good ruler, if you were a good husband, if you were a good leader, then you would protect your wife. You would protect your kids. If you're a good slave owner, you would protect your servants. Salakia. They gotta hold some kind of value. You know what I'm saying? You understand that there's value in them. Let me Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6, real quick. Matter of fact, let me get 6 and 9 first. Deuteronomy 6 and 9. Hey, the water, Clyde. I believe it's 6 and 9. Nah, it might be 4. One day I'll be able to remember scriptures off the top of my head. Yeah, verse 5. Give Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Who read last out of Kamar and Fred? Who read last?
Salaki, it was me, Kamar Kaya.
Fred, can you give me the Deuteronomy 4? Deuteronomy 4 and verse 5.
Khan or the Wakan. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether you go to possess it.
Now, this is talking about possessing a land. Remember, it said that thy children will, or thy seed will possess the gates. Remember that, Kamar? And I told you that was about rulership. Now, later on in Deuteronomy, he's giving Moses the law on how to properly possess this land, on how to properly rule over what the Lord is blessing you with. You do it by following these rules right here. If you don't do it that way, you're going to lose everything you possess. You're going to squander all your inheritance, and you're not going to be successful. You following me, right? That's what Israel did. That's what I just took you. The whole priesthood, they was the connection between the people and God, and they only cared about themselves. The kings, right? The Most High said that you don't want a king that's going to multiply wives unto himself and horses and have all of this, and the people don't got nothing. He only cared about himself. Well, it got like that with the kings. It got like that with the priests. And if the kings and the priests are the leadership, if they who the people following, then what the hell going to happen to the people if the people in leadership don't give a damn about them? They only care about themselves. That's why we have these laws. You can't do this. You can't treat your brother like this. You can't do your sister like that. You can't do your servant like this. You can't make your ox work on the Sabbath. That's a law. You can't make an animal work on the Sabbath. Think about that for a minute. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Most High, my power, have commanded me that you should do in the land whether you going to possess. The law, statutes, and commandments are for a peopleship. That's what they was made for, to tell you how to rule something and govern yourselves. This is a constitution, for God's sake. Go ahead, keep reading. Fred, if you read, you on mute. Verse 6.
Khan or Wakan. Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of all Salakia, in the sight of the nations, which shall
in the sight of
the nations.
In the sight of who?
In the sight of the nations.
You see that, Kamar? Keep this law and do it. This is your, what do you say? Wisdom. This is what make you better than them. This is what makes you the reason. This is what makes you the people that should rule, because you govern yourself this way. This is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. Now, if the nations are watching us not sleep with each other's wives, not murder each other, not steal from each other, and we are in rulership, then how will they treat each other? Keep reading now.
Khan or Wakan, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
They supposed to look at us in awe. Like, I can't believe they don't do that. I can't believe this nigga left his wallet on the table and ain't nobody steal it. I can't believe that this man's woman can actually be around brothers and nobody try to sleep with her. I can't believe that. This is surely this is a great nation and a wise and understanding people. Right. We need to be like them. We need to be like them. What you were supposed to do is provoke the other nations to be better because of how great you are. That is the story of the Israelites. That is the seed of Abraham. That's what we build in under Christ, because we squandered the opportunity, huh? We squandered it. We was on top. All we thought about was ourselves. That's it. I mean, David was a man after the Lord's own heart and still made a move that you question, like, dang, he could have had. The Lord said, I gave you all the wives that come with being a king. Why would you go and take this other man's wife? Let's not even get on Solomon. Man had 700 something concubines that he ain't had time to go sleep with them. They just kept women. He got so much money that he just keep women and nobody else can't have them. He don't even make it to go see them. He got so many real wives, he don't never make it to the concubine. All they do is take baths and cinnamon and spices and smell good and hope that the king will one day knock at their door. But they ain't got to pay for nothing. They got free cable, free internet. Boy, he just bought up all the women. He bought up so many women he couldn't even keep them. He got all white women. He got Japanese women. All the women that the Lord said don't be with. This is in the Bible. I ain't make this up. This is not how it was supposed to go. You following me out? This is how it was supposed to go right here. This is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nation, which shall hear these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Go ahead and read verse 7. It's the question they're supposed to have been asking about the Israelites.
Khan or Wakan, verse 7. For what nation is there so great, who hath God, Salakia? For what nation is there so great, who hath God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for?
And in response to us doing everything that God said to do, doing everything the Most High told us to do, His response to us is he would do everything we would ask him to. So the other nations like, well, what nation is this that got a God that does whatever they ask him to do? Right? It says that got a God so close. That word nigh means close unto them as the Lord our God in all things that we call upon him for. Meaning we ain't got to beg the Most High to do anything because we are good sons. We are good children. Instead, the Israelites, by the time we end Prophet Hosea, he said, you ain't my people no more. You ain't my God. I ain't your God and you ain't my people. That's what we did. But this is how it was supposed to be. We were supposed to rule and govern ourselves so well that the other nations looked at us and said, how can we get a God like that? How can we get rulership like that? How can we have a community like that? Instead, we're a proverb and a byword, right? Go ahead and read verse 8, and then we'll try to move on.
Gone out of Wakan, verse 8. And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day?
See, this is what the Most High knew. He knew he was going to give the children of Israel something that he was not going to give anybody else. And when he's talking about the seed of Abraham, Abraham had other sons, but they didn't keep the Sabbath, right? They wasn't given the laws, our laws that we had. He's talking about through Isaac, right? Isaac had sons, but he's talking about through Jacob. This is where he chose. Just like Ham, Shem, and Japheth, all three of them come from Noah. But he chose Shem. So this is about election. This ain't about us being no better than nobody else. This is about the Lord giving us something that would make us good rulers that he ain't give nobody else. Psalms 147, 19 and 20 says, he showeth his words unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as far as his judgments, meaning the stuff we had to go through for disobeying him, they have not known them. He is not destroying the white man for eating pork or being gay or any of that or any of these other nations, because he never gave them the law. He gave it to you to be holy. And this is what we did. We thought when we actually got the reward that come along with being the Lord's people, we thought it was because we was great. When he told us, if you flip over like three or four pages, you'll get Deuteronomy chapter 7, right? Give me verse 6, Kamar Kaya. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. We say this a lot at camp. We don't bring this out a lot in class. But since you know, let me tell y'all something. The only thing that separates you as an Israelite from any other heathen on the planet is the law, statutes, and commandments, the covenant, and the land. Now we out of the land. Thank the Most High for his grace to give us another covenant, because we broke the first one, and an opportunity to serve him by doing his law. Because that's the only thing that makes you separate. You got it, Kamar Kaya?
Khan, sir.
Go ahead, read it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen
that word holy. That word holy means set apart. That word holy means set apart. You are different people. You're not like everybody else. Why? Because of what we just read, what the brother Fred just read in Deuteronomy chapter 4. What kind of people is this that got a God so nigh to them? For thou art a holy people, a separate people to the Lord thy God. Keep going.
God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So I keep going.
I don't know if y'all heard him clear, but he went out on my end. On my end, you went out. But this is what it said: "For thou art a holy people." I just told y'all that means separate to the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God have chosen thee, meaning you're chosen for. You got a specific thing. You're chosen. I mean, he ain't choose everybody to be a special people. You special to the Most High. What made you special? See, this is what happens. Like, right when the Lord got a favorite, you would think it's something you did that made him your favorite, or that made you his favorite. You would get beside yourself. You would start thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? This is why Philippians 2 is very important. This is why Philippians 2 is very important. What made hold on 1 second. Make sure. All right. What made you like be chosen by the Most High, or what made you special? Is because he took you in as a son. He gave you rules. He gave you things to do that he ain't get nobody else to do. Hey, look, you can't act like that. You can't carry yourself like that. You can't do that. Right? What you must understand is that he made it clear that the reason he did it, and he also made it because, did you read that last part in 6? Above all people, did you read that?
Gone with con, sir. I don't know if you
Yeah, I heard it, but it was breaking up for me. I just wanted to make sure I ain't go too far. So now he done chose you. What did he choose you to do? Be above all people that are upon the face of the earth, to rule, to be above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now, answer the question, Trooper Kamar. How will all people be blessed? When did he, hold on, first of all, when did he choose us? I'll answer that. The scripture you pulled, when he grabbed Abraham and said, yo, I want you to come do this. When Abraham decided to say that I will give up my own son if I have to do whatever the hell the Lord said to do. He said, all right, because I understand that you are so obedient, now this is what I'm going to do. That's when he chose us, right? Made him special. What made us special? The law, statutes, and commandments. Now here's the question. The Lord our God have chosen to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And through thy seed, all nations of the earth shall be blessed. What that mean? Come on.
Salakia. So that basically mean when we are in rulership, like what we was talking about, like when the righteous are rulership, the people that God chose, the people God gave his laws and statutes and commandments to, the whole earth to be in a better position or better condition.
That's correct. That's correct. You see how when you go through the scriptures, sometimes it take a little minute. Y'all think Kazak be tripping. You like, man, just answer the damn question, man. Why I gotta go to? We have to take the scenic route. We have to take the scenic route. But I want every last one of y'all brothers in this class to be better teachers than me. You know what I'm saying? When I grasp, Captain Mashak and Captain Soccer War and Captain Shawar Yala, when I learned and listened to them, they would give me an answer, not that simple answer that I want, just so I know how to answer the question. But through all that I'm getting, I want y'all to get understanding. So that's why I took a whole hour to answer that question. I could have took 5 seconds. I'm glad you got it though, Most High Christ. You had anything else on that?
La, sir, that was it on that one.
All right. Fred, Clyde, either one of y'all got any questions? Because you had another one, Kamar, right?
Yeah, Con. I know one of the brothers probably got
And
you.
I don't see no questions. I don't see no questions from Bigo. Hold on, I did see one in the comments, but that's only if Fred or Clyde don't got no questions.
Salakia, I don't have any.
All right, no sweat.
Salakia, sir, I did have a question. It was a bit, I wouldn't call it, it was a bit off the wall, but you know,
What's the question, man? Let's get it.
This is in Hebrews 4:15. It says that Christ was tempted in all points as we were, and I'm just wondering, was he ever tempted by a woman?
Was he ever tempted by a woman? The Bible don't speak on that specifically. His desire was rulership. That's why Satan tempted him with rulership. So some people desire, it's people that love to get high more than they love to be with a woman, right?
Come.
There's people that desire chasing money and fame. They want everybody to know them more than being with a woman. Whatever your thing is and your desire. I don't know if y'all ever seen that. It's a show that used to come on. I don't even know if it still come on, called Lucifer. Y'all ever seen the show? That's a good show. I like that show. It's a bunch of fake Greek mythology in there that ain't in the Bible. However, it does play into how demons work, right? And he always asks them on that show, what is your desire? What is your, what do you desire? That's the type of thing that Satan does when he's playing with you. So for Christ, he was focused on the mission. The mission at hand was to be raised up. And I was about to bring that out in Philippians chapter 2 when I was talking about the whole thing of being in charge. This is what made him a good leader, because most of the leaders that, like, the first person that was ever in the truth was Adam. That's the first person that God gave the truth to. He breathed the breath of life, gave him the ability to follow laws, statutes, and commandments. And guess what this nigga did? Follow his woman right up against the Most High. So I think the lesson was learned. Even David, it was a woman. Samson, it was a woman. Solomon, it was women. You get what I'm saying? So when Yahushua hit the scene, I mean, come on, he had women touching the hem of his garment. They just wanted to touch the hem of his garment. He walking on water. He raising the dead. Of course, he would have women that want to deal with you. He got a bad broad washing his hair, a woman of the night, washing his feet with her hair. Of course, all of that would be temptation. This is why when the woman came, they like, man, this woman crying out after you. Should we send her away? And he like, nah, let me talk to her. Of course, but he was about his father's business, Fred. You understand? I love women too. You love women too. We all love women. But when you get focused in, it's certain things you don't have to worry about. But the Bible never goes into Christ's interaction with women on a romantic level. So everything would be speculation that I could teach. It don't necessarily talk about him being tempted with women, but it does talk about him being tempted with that very thing that he wanted. And he got it the right way as opposed to getting it the wrong way. What do I mean? Philippians chapter 2. Let's go there real quick. He wanted rulership. Matter of fact, let's go to Matthew 4 first, real quick. The things that Christ wanted is the things that Satan brought to him. For the sake of time, forget it. Let's just roll with it. I want to read it fast because I want to get a lot of this in, but I'll just skip around if I have to. Give me Matthew chapter 4 and 1.
Khan Auto Khan, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 1. Then Jesus was led up the spirit.
Whenever you ready.
Then Jesus was led up of the spirit into the
Are you
wilderness
reading?
to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward a-hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city and setteth him on a pinnacle.
Let's stop right. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. If I could, I think my internet is acting up, so just bear with me. This is why I was gonna read it. I hope y'all can hear me clearly. I hope I don't go back and this been going out the whole time. But it says, then was Yahushua led up of the spirit. What spirit? He was only led by the Holy Spirit. He was led up in the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. So it was by the Lord's design that Yahushua would be led into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. Think about that for a minute for the people who say Jesus is God. When God is the one who led Yahushua in there to be tempted. Why did he do that? The same way he led Abraham up there and see if he was going. It's all a test. I think I made you to be perfect and wonderful and great and all of this. Let me just make sure. Right? So after he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, which you will get one taste of that tomorrow night at this time right here, where the Day of Atonement starts, where you will atone for your sins, where you will afflict your souls. You will have no food and no water for 24 hours. Now, Christ did this for 40 days. So as you're going through it and you're like, oh, I'm going to die. Oh, I just remember Christ was fasting for 40 days, 40 nights. You got one day. However, you would have to be completely engulfed in the spirit of the Most High in order to survive something like that, right? And this is not something that's normal. So afterwards, he was hungry. And the tempter came to him and said, if you be the Son of God, then why don't let these stones be made bread? Why don't you change these rocks into food? I had the opportunity to rocks and to make bread with them. Same temptation. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Now, we're going to skip the second time, right? Go to verse 8 real quick.
Khan, sir, whenever you're ready.
Now, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceedingly high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them. And saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
This is what Yahushua wanted. He didn't want one woman. He wanted all of them. He wanted the whole kingdom. We think too small. Fred. You get what I'm saying?
Come.
If you got the whole kingdom, then all the glory that come along with that. You with me, brother?
Come.
Yeah. So it don't specifically go into that, but that's the thing it would say. He taketh them on an exceeding high mountain and show him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. So like when you go to Revelations, it says all the kings of the earth are going to bring their glory. And what is it talking about? Their glory. Everything that's worth something. everything that's valuable, everything that somebody who is in rulership would want. Give me that. So it don't specifically go into women when it comes to Yahushua. His interaction with women, he kind of stayed. Maybe that's why he was successful and deserved, because he avoided that. I don't know, bro. I just know I can only teach you what's in the Bible, and those interactions, like the woman who was like saying to him, when he told her to go get me some water, and he was like, "Yo, this water I got for you." That sounds like a nigga throwing game right there, bro. This I got you. So I got some water for you that you would never thirst again. You know what I'm saying? Like Christ is telling her his interaction with sisters or women was not many that you would have. There are extra biblical sources that people read that we do not read, except for we think they like comic books that would say that him and Mary Magdalene was married. That, you know what I'm saying? These are things that are not in the Bible. So for me to bring them up in a biblically based class, it would be inappropriate. We could talk about it just like we could talk about that Lucifer show, which is not in the Bible. Just like we could talk about, power. We could talk about, UFC or the NFL. These are not things that are biblical. We could discuss it, but inside the Bible, I don't see nowhere where Christ was overly concerned with women. Let me get Philippians chapter 2 real quick. Show you what he was concerned with. Remember what it just said Satan did. Satan took him up on a pinnacle and showed him all of the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. That's what he offered to him. If your thing is woman, Satan gonna bring you women. That's what's gonna destroy you. That's what you're gonna fall to. That's what you love more than the Most High. He gonna bring you that. If your thing is your family, I love my kids. Well, that's what Satan will use to destroy you with. If it's you get it.
Khan of the Wakan.
Whatever it is that your thing is, Satan not gonna bring weed to a crack addict. That's not his thing. He's going to bring crack to a crack addict. He's going to bring heroin that's what he's going to destroy him with, because that's the thing that he loves. Christ wanted power and authority. You don't believe me, right? Philippians chapter 2. I'm going to read it real quick because we're coming up on the time, and I want to get out of here in time today. I don't want to do it like I normally do it. Philippians chapter 2, verse 5. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, or Hamashiach Yahushua, who being in the form of God, or power, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God. Hold on. Who being in the form of a God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God. Now let me break that down. Christ was healing the sick, raising the dead, walking on water. This a woman say she was sick. Her period was on for 12 years. All she had to do was touch this man's garment and his fringes, and she was healed. This is a bad dude. He could have took that and been prideful. Just like us, what I was telling you. Remember what I was telling you, Kamar? When we got in a position of power and authority, we went to messing up. Soon as we got there, the leaders is what caused Israel to fall. Y'all with me?
Right.
Everybody understand? All right. So Christ was in that same thing, like right now. He was just telling them, he popping off. Like, bro, don't you think if I wanted to I could have a legion of angels come down here and destroy all of this if I wanted to. Right? He knew what his rep was. He knew the Most High was with him because of his obedience. He already knew. He said, who being in the form of a God, who having power, thought it was not robbery to be equal with God. He was placed there in a position of power and authority. And because he was working for the Most High, he didn't think that it would have been something that you would have been like, you know how they were saying, oh, you the son of God, you the son of God, like who you think you is. He thought it not robbery to be equal with God. But this is what he did, verse 7, but made himself of no reputation and took upon him the form of a servant. Now let this mind be in you, Meaning this is how you should do. Even if the Most High is using you to raise up schools head to where you think you something, the more power and authority God gives you, the more you should humble. Because you should know, like Christ knew, I can do nothing of myself. Now he raising the dead and walking on water and say, I can do nothing of myself. That's how humble the brother was, even though he had it. But why was he humble, Fred? Because what did he want? The thing that Satan offered him. He could have just took it from Satan. He showed him the kingdoms. He wanted power. He wanted authority. He wanted rulership. He wanted to be the king. That's why it says that he was going to restore the throne of David using him, because he's going to do it the right way. He's not going to feed himself and not feed the flock. He's not going to be an unrighteous shepherd or an unrighteous pastor that only think about himself. He's going to think about who he's responsible for. Y'all with me?
Gone.
Did I lose y'all? All right, so I'm at verse 7. But made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. And being fashioned as in the fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death. Let me tell you something. You want power, you want rulership, you want everything the Lord, you want glory, you want the kingdoms, you want nations. If God tell you to kill your son, but God ain't gonna tell you that. If God tell you to die for your people, do it. There are some things in life that's worth dying for. I got that from General Muhammad. Some things are worth dying for. You want to save your life and be on your knees and do all this other stuff, yeah, that's fine. You want to be a Sambo and shuck and jive for your oppressors to save your life? Or are you willing to say, hey, listen, my legacy will not be that I bow or I succumb to Satan, that I gave him any type of, I'm going to die serving the Most High. I'm going to die serving my King Christ. Right? Let me read that again. It says, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of a cross. Now, this ain't no regular dying. He ain't dying in sleep with socks on, taking, eating good and all that. No. It was a public execution that he had to go through. And he did that. He did that, right? Now check out what happened. Verse 9, wherein God also have highly exalted him. This is what he wanted. Have highly exalted him and given him a name. That name is a reputation, which is above every reputation. Right? That at the name of Yahushua, every knee should bow, of the things in heaven and the things in earth and things under the earth, and that every tongue shall confess that Yahushua is Lord, or the Adawan. He is the one over everybody. He ruling up because of his humbleness. That's what he wanted, right? Of things in the heaven and the earth, under the earth, that every tongue should confess that Yahushua is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. So even in him raising him up, he get the glory. Why? Because he's obedient to him. The Most High can raise you up if you're obedient to him, because he would get the glory. Now, when he raised up Pharaoh took all the glory, and then he got to come destroy Pharaoh. When he raised up, bad leaders, they try to take the glory, and then he got to destroy them. But when he raised up Yahushua, the Most High gets the glory. He said it, let your light so shine among men that they will see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Christ said, he that humbles himself shall be exalted, and he that exalted himself shall be humbled. So his thing that he was looking for on this earth was power and rulership. That's what Satan tempted him with. Some niggas is tempted with a blunt or a bitch or something like that. That wasn't Yahushua. You got me?
Okay.
You understand, Fred?
Come out of Wakan. The water.
To the sister that asked that question, I don't hey, Most High in Christ. In the second Maccabees, who is and I'm not familiar with that name, and it's not go down in depth and read who it was. I'm sure he's in the Maccabees. He would be one of the sons, or he would be either an oppressor or he would be on our side. I'm not familiar with it off the top of my head, and I gotta. We're gonna get out of here in about 2 or 3 minutes. So what we could do is hold that question. You probably can have your husband give me a call, and I could try to break it down. But off the top, I did look in the Bible dictionary. I'm not familiar with that name in Second Maccabees. But here's what y'all do. Y'all make me better by asking me questions, because now I got to go learn who that is, because I cannot teach it if I haven't been taught it. Y'all understand, right?
Okay.
Wakan.
So I'll be better next week because of the Bayana. I'll be better. You know what I'm saying? Because of y'all. That's how this works. And then y'all will know. Hold on 1 second. Y'all make sure y'all prepare at sundown tomorrow for the Day of Atonement. All right.
Okay.
Very serious time. We often have jokes, about it. Because nobody else on the planet does this. What I mean by that is this was only given to y'all to afflict your soul. And it's just to let you know, it's going to be some tough times coming ahead. I'm looking for something. That's why I'm not looking in the camera. It's going to be some tough times coming ahead. And you might be that much more prepared because you've done this, because you've done some of the things like the gathering of the people, and what I'm saying, it might be a day where it ain't nothing to eat. It might be a day, I don't know. Lord allow that never happens. All right, but with that, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, since 1969. I'm going to try to recite the security announcements because I can't find a rule for new brothers and sisters in school. When a new brother or sister comes into school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves in the world. If they need a ride, the teacher will do it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister after 6 months wants to court another brother or sister, they are to get permission from the heads. There's another 6 months where they will court each other, and then they will get permission to marry. Tithes, which is an offering, 10% of everything of increase given to the school. If you don't understand that, talk to your camp leader. It is in the Bible. I believe it's in Malachi chapter 1. I don't know off the top of my head. Aishra in the Hebrew. Also, Holy Convocations tomorrow. I already talked about that. And if a brother wants to become a trooper in the school, he's to start wearing all black shirt, boots, headbands, and scarves. And with that, I'll say Amajim. Men of Israel, we're going to get one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim Barak.
Yahweh Ba'ashem
How about Shem Yahushua Barakatah?
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatham. Yajimatah, which means hands down. What we said was the most high in the name of Yahweh. Shall bless you. Turn to the Yahweh Shamar Alatah Shem. Yajimatah. What we said was most high in the name of Yahweh Shah, watch over you. And with that, class dismissed. Yajimatah, hands down. Hey, good class, Akim. Good class, Akwafian. Afflict your soul.
Oh, sir.
All right, we go. I'm going.